Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Dan McCulka. I'm here, a member of the HSE team at Dexter Albion campus. Today we'll be covering occupational noise training, and this is for new hires. So this is just a brief overview of what to expect regarding noise exposure on campus here at Dexter. So again, welcome. Before we dive into the world of earplugs and decibels, let's talk about why noise safety matters. So besides keeping your ears from ringing like a fire alarm, so the objective here, we're here to help you hear the message loud and clear, no pun intended. Noise at work isn't just annoying, it can be hazardous. So this training will show you how to protect your hearing and avoid becoming the person who says what every meeting. Why it's important. Long-term exposure to loud noise can lead to permanent hearing loss, tinnitus, which is that lovely ringing in the ears, or even stress. And no, turning up your music to drown out the machines doesn't count as protection. And then regulation. So OSHA says we need to care about this stuff, specifically under 29 CFR 1910.95. So there are rules, and we need to make sure we follow them so you can keep your hearing and we can keep our jobs. So, all right, let's talk about noise. But not the kind like your coworker makes chewing chips, but the kind that actually can mess with your hearing. So, what is noise? So, occupational noise is a workplace sound loud enough to damage hearing. Think machines, tools, and sudden bangs you may hear in your facility. Types of noise you'll meet include continuous, such as like a constant hum or roar, like machinery or like conveyor belts, things of that sort. Intermediate, it comes and goes. It's like on and off cycles of machines. And then impulse, sudden sharp bursts. Think like hammer strikes or explosions, maybe even like the presses that we have. Those are just a few examples. So why it matters knowing the type of noise helps you choose the right protection. Some sounds are just annoying, others can quietly wreck your hearing. So let's get into what noise can actually do to you besides making you wish you had a mute button for the world. So hearing loss temporary. Like post-concert, muffled hearing usually comes back, whereas permanent hearing loss when it doesn't. So no do-overs. So long-term loud noise can lead to noise-induced hearing loss, or NIHL. So tinnitus or tinnitus is the ringing or buzzing with no source. Your ears or in your ears, unwanted solo act. It can be constant and irreversible. So it's kind of just a ringing in your ears is how people describe it. Other effects of noise exposure include fatigue, where noise just wears you down physically, mentally, all the above. It also can induce stress. Loud and verb can due to raised tension. It can reduce focus. It can be hard to concentrate when your brain's on noise patrol. So, just some things to be aware of. So, let's talk numbers, but don't worry, we're not going to have a math test at the end. So, what's the limit? So, OSHA sets the limit at 90 dBA for 8 hours. It's about as loud as a lawnmower consistently for 9 hours being run. But as the volume goes up, safe exposure time drops fast. For example, say it raised up to 95 decibels, then OSHA says that's only okay to be around for 4 hours at a time. If it went up to 100 decibels, then 2 hours, and 105 to 1 hour, and so on. So the way this is kind of all calculated is through the time-weighted average, or TWA, which is the average exposure to a substance or agent over a specific period, typically an 8-hour workday, is how OSHA defines it. So, impulse noise, sudden loud sounds, OSHA caps that at 140 decibel peak. So anything louder is a serious risk. Thankfully, 140 is something that we typically should never see at any of our plants here. So we don't guess, we measure. So how do we do that? We do that through what's called noise monitoring or noise assessments, or even noise surveys, which is done using what's called a sound level meter, like this picture here. We check how loud equipment in areas are, specifically focusing on where employees are working in facilities. And at Dexter Albion campus, hearing protection is required in all buildings except for buildings 6 and 8 due to the noise in those buildings. Another example of noise monitoring is through personal dosimetry, which are wearable devices that track your individual noise exposure. So they're kind of like a Fitbit for your ears. They typically just clip them on your shirt, like the collar of your shirt. So it's kind of near your head where you would experience noise entering your ears. Area monitoring is another example. We assess noisy zones, post warning signs, and make sure folks know where not to linger. Because of previous noise assessments that we've received in the past, all buildings besides 6 and 8 require hearing protection worn throughout them, not just specific zones like you may see at other buildings at Dexter. Why it matters: monitoring helps us pinpoint noise sources, assess risk, and take action to protecting hearing. All right, so let's say the workplace is too loud, like concert in the blender loud. What do we do? So we don't just hand out earplugs and hope for the best. So we do hand out earplugs, but other things that we can do, we can reduce the noise by fixing it at the source. So this is an example of an engineering control, or we could also look at changing how we work around it, which is an admin or administrative control. So that means quieter equipment, barriers, smart scheduling, and signage. They're all aimed at keeping noise exposure low and our ears safe. So this example here is an employee working a job at a station where they're using some noisy equipment, riveting machine, and once they looked at it from an engineering lens, they built an enclosure around it to absorb some of that sound. So less of that sound is entering the employee's ears. So that's a great win there. So now we've tried fixing the noise, but there's still noise present. So when that happens, that some of the time we have to just accept that noise is going to be present, and that's okay. So how we combat that is using PPE, or in this case, HPDs, which are hearing protection devices. So we use earplugs, earmuffs, canal caps to block harmful noise, choosing the right type for your task and wearing them properly. Make sure they're fit snugly. Protection only works if it's used correctly, so make sure we're not skipping that. Currently at Dexter, at least at the Albion campus, we only provide various types of earplugs. So we'll go over in the next slides how to properly wear them and take care of them. So limitations. So HPDs are great, but they're not magic. So they don't block all noise, and they definitely don't make loud coworkers quieter. So make sure you're using them with other controls if necessary, and not instead of them. So using them, period, is most important. So wearing earplugs right is key. Otherwise, you're just decorating your ears with a piece of foam. So here's how we do it like a pro. So step 1, roll it. Take the foam earplug, roll it between your fingers into a tight little cylinder. Step 2, reach over your head with the opposite hand, gently pulling on your ear like this. This straightens your ear canal so the plug can go in smoothly. In step 3, insert and hold. Slide the rolled earplug into your ear canal. Hold it for about 20 maybe even 30 seconds while it expands. Um, that allows it to fit properly in there. And then you'll check the fit. If it's properly fitted earplug, it should muffle sound. If you can still hear pretty clearly, then that means it's not in all the way. So now let's talk about the mysterious number on the earplug box, the NRR. No, it's not a score for how cool you look. NRR tells you how much noise a hearing protection device can block. So if worn correctly, it's based on lab tests. So real world results are actually lower. Always adjust expectations and adjust the NRR on the packaging before use. So welcome to the part where we talk about why you're sitting here right now. So, and why we're keeping track of it like it's a secret mission. So, annual noise safety training is required if you're exposed to noise that is 85 dBA or more. And this affects all employees who work in buildings 1 through 5 on campus. So, we track training, hearing tests, and exposure data to stay compliant and keep your hearing protected. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. So, yes, we write it all down. So now that you know what noise is, why it's bad, and how to fight it with foam and ear muffs, let's talk about your role in keeping your ears happy. So wear your hearing protection correctly every time. Report unusual noise or damaged equipment. Follow posted signs and safety instructions. Take your annual hearing test seriously. It helps us bring your hearing or protect your hearing. Be a role model for noise safety on the job. That's all we can really ask from you. If you hear sudden loud noise, stay calm, report it immediately, and follow site protocols. Shut down equipment only if trained and safe to do so. If your ears are ringing or you feel off, notify your supervisor and get checked out. So, in summary, we covered what workplace noise is, how it affects your hearing, OSHA's limits, and how we monitor and control noise. You learned how to wear earplugs properly, your role in staying safe, and what to do when things get unexpectedly loud. Protect your ears as they're the only pair you've got. Thank you for your attention and commitment to safety in the workplace. By understanding and following noise safety training, stay safe and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.